Hola guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to Steal the Spotlight. Today I have an epic thrift haul which we all know are my personal favorites here on this channel. So I'm very excited to be filming yet another. This one is a little bit more collective than usual, so I have quite a few goodies to share with you and all of which I'm pretty chuffed with, so let's just jump into it. So I watch way too many thrift hauls and I feel like so many people find really cool graphic tees, and I'm one of those people who will go through every single t-shirt in the men's section, and once in a blue moon I'll come across something that's actually cool, and I think that this is one of those. It is just this Pepsi Cola t-shirt. This was only $2 just from a Salvo shop, and I just really liked this for the colors really. It's an extra large men's, but it's not massive, and I'm just gonna crop it so it sits nicely with my high-waisted jeans. Also, if you're wondering about the graphic tee I'm wearing at the moment, this is my new favorite. I didn't thrift it, I actually purchased it from a vintage store. If you guys live in Brisbane or the Gold Coast, there's a really cool vintage store called Archive, so definitely check it out if you're in the area. Another item that I'm actually planning on cropping is this really thick ribbed turtleneck sweater. Apparently I'm into green at the moment, which is something I wasn't expecting to say, but I don't know, I've been really drawn to it at the op shop in particular, and I think that this will kind of be similar to the sweater I thrifted a little while ago with like the green, blue and white stripes. I just hacked it off at the bottom and then it gave me total unit vibes, so I'm aiming for something similar with this one. Okay, this next item is hands down one of my favorites in this entire haul. It is just this cute little mesh kind of black and white cheetah print top. It even has the adorable little lettuce edging on it, which you guys know is one of my favorite details. So I think this was such a good find. Totally looks like something you'd pick up in like Urban Outfitters or something at the moment, and I got it for only $2.50, so I'm seriously stoked about that one. I'm just gonna keep on rolling with the tops because I think that's what I have the most of here. This next one is this really nice little halter top, and the pattern looks kind of weird looking in the viewfinder, but it actually looks really cool in person. It's definitely a very early 2000s style. I think because of the pattern, it could look really cool with a new pair of Fila sneakers that I got, and then just like my black jeans that I always wear. Guys, honestly, I still can't kick the red trend. You guys know I've got all of my primary colors up here in the back, but I picked up yet another little red top. This one is just a 3/4 length sleeve, and it's definitely a basic, but the reason I picked it up is because it's a basic with a pointed difference, since it does have this really straight squared neckline, which is something you just don't see a ton of in store anymore. On the absolute flip side of that, I've also found something that is very recent. If you guys shop on Australian online boutiques a lot, I'm sure you have seen this style before, and it's an absolute bitch to try and hold up and show you, so you'll get a better gist in the try on. But it has these really puffy balloon sort of sleeves, and then has a really long tie to just wrap around and cinch in your waist. And when I saw this, I was actually pretty excited. It was still more expensive than I would usually pay at $10, but considering you probably pay like $50 online, I still thought it was a pretty good deal, especially considering it still had its tags on. Another little stripy number I picked up is this basic top. I thought that this would just be nice to chuck on if you're popping up to the shops or something, because it is basic but still has a pointed difference with the kind of asymmetric hemline and also this ruching up the side, so it still looked kind of cool, and it did have the half price colored ticket, so for only $2.50 I thought it would be a pretty good inclusion. And the last top that I picked up is this really lovely black one. It was quite interesting because it only has one button closure kind of in the center, so it's very open up top, so I think it would look great with a bit of a sexy bralette underneath for a night out, or even for holiday season coming up, because it does have this gorgeous kind of metallic thread throughout. I'm gonna move on to some accessories because I have quite a few more than I usually do, and they're also quite a lot cooler, to be completely honest. The first one is this amazing kind of faux fur leopard print bucket hat. To me, this is the sort of thing that you would see if you went into a vintage store, not just shopping up at your local Salvos. When I first spotted it across the room, my eyes just lit up and I ran for it immediately. Believe it or not, they priced this at $8, which I thought was pretty high. I thought that they would have this for a lot cheaper because they would just think it was random and tacky. That's what usually happens at the op shops near me, but I was still happy to pay $8 for this one. When I said I had a lot of accessories, I really meant that I just have a lot of belts. I've been going completely belt crazy. They are so expensive to pay full price in store if you want a really cool looking one, but at the op shop you can find some pretty unique ones for decent prices. I find that they can be overpriced, but usually you're not paying over $5, which is pretty good. The first one I have is this little eyelet one. These are obviously popping up everywhere as part of the early 2000 trend because they are such skater girl vibes. You totally feel like Avril Lavigne when you wear these. This one's going to be kind of hard to see until the close-up because it is quite fine and dainty, but it is these alternating silver rings, and I think it's actually a necklace, but I thought that I could wear it as a belt and it would kind of have like a cool disco sort of thing to it. I think it's gonna look really cool dressed up with like a funky jumpsuit or something. A much chunkier belt that I picked up is this one here. I don't really even know how to describe it, to be perfectly honest. It's not a style that I've seen before, but I really liked the hardware and detailing on this. Lastly, for the belts, I picked up two chained little numbers, one plain gold, one gold with a black material kind of woven through it. They're similar, but I feel like they still give off kind of a different sort of look. This one here, they definitely ripped me off for because it was $11. They had it in the retro section, so I'm not sure how legit vintage it is, but I thought I'd get a lot of wear out of it, so I decided just to pay the price anyway. This one kind of gives me Chanel vibes and also 80s vibes as well, which is a decade I have been living for recently. I'm actually going to do a whole style inspirations video coming up really soon, so I'll go more into detail with what 80s things I've been into, plus a ton of other stuff, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. I've picked up two dresses recently. The first one 100% looks like a school uniform. I am just gonna put that out there straight away. I can't remember what school it is. If you guys live in Brisbane, you'll probably know which one I mean, but it is this brown checkered print. And I don't know, I thought that I could still kind of make it work because it is in this pinafore sort of style. If I team a cool top underneath, I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna give it a go though. It was only $5, I believe, and I thought it could make for an interesting wardrobe piece. The other dress is definitely a little bit more on the fancy side, and I absolutely love it. It is this black mid-length dress. It has a double strap which crosses over in the back, which I think is such a nice detail. And then it also buttons all the way down with these like little diamante buttons, which is just such a cute kind of tacky look to it, which is my aesthetic at the moment, so works out perfectly. Usually I'm pretty unlucky in the shoe department. All the really groovy shoes I find are like a size 5 or 6, and I'm a size 8, and usually that's just like the old beat up work shoes, but I do have 4 pairs to show you today, so that is definitely a win for me. The first pair you may have seen over on my Instagram already, and they are these Tone Walkers, which is just a really funny shoe from like the early to late 2000s, I guess, which is like supposed to work your calf muscle because they kind of rock back and forth. I just thought that these were really funny because sneakers are massive at the moment. Hypebeast, Hypebae are posting chunky sneakers left, right, and center, and I feel like this kind of mocks them, but at the same time they actually look kind of cool. These were originally supposed to be in my 10 Things I Hate About You lookbook because I thought that they were like a good dupe for the old-fashioned Skechers that had a big moment in the late 90s, early 2000s, but unfortunately they didn't fit the model, but then I just decided to claim them for myself. Two styles of shoes that I really like and are also really common to find at the thrift store are mules and slingbacks. I didn't have any slingbacks, so when I saw these for only $4, I thought why not pick them up. I really like that they have a square toe detail because that is definitely something I'm into at the moment, and even the heel, there was just something a little bit unique about them that I thought would make a really nice almost more sophisticated shoe to add to my collection, because usually I wear like sneakers or just platforms. So yeah, there's something nice about these. The last two pairs I have are both boots. The first are these knee-high black boots, again with a slightly squared off toe, making them a really late 90s sort of vibe. Totally remind me of something that Rachel or Monica would wear from Friends. I'm rewatching the entire series at the moment. I think I'm up to season 6, so I've kind of gone through all of their 90s style. So they're definitely inspiring me at the moment. And when I found these in my size, finally, because I always keep a lookout, I was just over the moon. The other pair of boots I got are a really similar style. They're just not quite as tall, so they're more of a calf boot. And I just thought that these looked like designer boots, and they were only 10 bucks. So I thought that was really, really good, particularly because they're in such good nick. I didn't find too many bottoms this time around. I did get these camo cargo pants, which my mum actually got for me because she knows I'm into like camo at the moment, which is cool. And these are very early 2000s, like low-waisted, totally something that you would see on like Lizzie McGuire or something. So that's kind of cool. I think it would look good to stick to the theme and just wear it with like a plain black boob tube or something like that. The other item I got is definitely one of my favorites in this haul. It is this kind of faux fur material mini skirt in this zebra print. It's zebra in the front and then just plain black in the back. But yeah, this is very, very fun. If I had have had this, I definitely would have included it in my Fran Find the Nanny lookbook, because this is screaming her name. I'm gonna finish things off with a few jackets I've picked up, so probably more helpful for those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere, but for me, it doesn't matter what season it is, I'm always gonna buy coats and jackets because they're just my favorite type of clothing piece. The first one I picked up is just this plain kind of like fleece zip-up jumper, but I thought that it almost gives off a kind of teddy bear sort of vibe, which obviously those prints are everywhere at the moment and can be very, very pricey. This one was only $3.50, so I thought I'd just make do for now. I think it was back in about mid-year that I picked up this red puffer jacket from the Ob Shop, and you guys have seen it so many times since then because I wear it to death. I found another puffer jacket. This was only $2, and it is more of a burgundy red with cream accents on it. I actually really, really like this one because it has kind of an oversized collar, which I feel like gives it a more genuine retro feel to it as well. An item of clothing that I had previously overlooked but am now loving is the vest. And I found this really nice little puffer vest. I think it probably was a children's size, but it fits in a really kind of like cropped, snug way. And obviously what first drew me to it was this amazing blue color. I think this will pop so nicely against all black. So yeah, again, probably not really weather appropriate, but I'm still glad I found it. Last but not least, I have saved my love it or hate it item, which is somewhat of a tradition here in my thrift hauls. Today we have this little baby, which some might say looks like I'm holding up a garbage bag right now. Others might think that it is a very lovely maxi length vinyl PVC coat, which obviously was shown on the runway quite a bit with that heavy 80s inspiration. So personally, I was freaking excited to spot this across the room. They actually had it done up on a mannequin and I stripped that baby off like nobody's business. That's all for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So let me know which item was your favorite this time around. I feel like it's really tough this time. I have quite a few, so I'd love to hear what you guys think. And lastly, before you go, please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, guys.